Shalom, shalom, Shabbat Adonai. This is going to be a strange recording to you. It is something very personal, but there nothing hidden from God. And I want you to know how great God is, how merciful He is, how personal He is. And God is right there on your level. He knows everything about you. For me, this is embarrassing, but God is God, and I'm going to tell it because He told me to tell it. In fact, He made me write it down, what I was going to talk about today. So He made sure I tell you this. I was sitting in my sitting room. This was last week, and I enjoy sitting next to my sunroom, and the sliding door was open, and I was just sitting in the sitting room, in the living room, just minding my own business, and God spoke to me. He said, "I'm going to kill you when you get to Israel." I said, "Lord, you're going to kill your servant?" These things, they are in my mind. You can hear God's voice in your mind, You can, when He talks to you, He reveals His thoughts to you in your mind. I don't hear God audibly like a voice or anything like that, but I hear Him in my mind. I know when He speaks to me, I can hear Him in my mind. So He said, "I'm going to kill you when you get to Israel." I said, "Lord, you going to kill the Lord's servant?" I said, "Lord, why are you going to kill me?" He said, "For looking under a girl's dress." I said, "Lord, you going to kill your servant for looking underneath a girl's dress?" I said, "I didn't look underneath a girl's dress." And he paused for a moment. And I was struggling in my mind trying to remember. Is God talking about something in the future? Because He said, when we get to Israel, I'm going to kill you. So I said, "Lord, you cannot kill your servant." I said, "Allow me a chance to explain. Allow me a chance to arbitrate my situation. Why you want to kill your servant? Lord, I love you." And He said, "Why you want to kill me?" So He said, "Because you look between a girl's legs." So in my mind, I couldn't remember anything like that. So I thought about it for a while. And you won't believe this. God brought back to my memory something that was done over 40 years ago. I remembered something that had happened like that. I was picking up a pencil in the front of the classroom, and I think I was in the third or fourth grade, and I can't remember the girl's face, but a voice at that time, I think I was in the third or fourth grade, and I'm almost 60 years old now. And I was in the third grade. I believe it was in third or fourth grade. I can't remember exactly because it's been so long ago. And he said that he's going to kill me for looking underneath the girl's dress. And I said, and see what had happened during that situation was there was a voice that came to me, and that voice said to me, "Look, the girl is sitting there with her head," because when I had reached and picked up my pencil, I picked up my pencil in the direction opposite of where the girl was sitting. So I turned my head and I didn't know. But when I heard the voice say to me, "Turn your head and look at the girl who has no panties on, and her legs are open," I did exactly what that voice told me to do. And when I turned and I looked, sure enough, the girl she didn't have on no panties and her legs was open. And when I looked up, I could feel her face was she was looking at me. And when I looked at she was looking at me smiling. And so I didn't say anything to the girl. I didn't say anything to her that day or in the past, future, or anything. I just went on about my business. And so it's amazing to me is how God remembers that and brought that back to my memory just last week. And the way He said it to me, He said, "I'm going to kill you for looking underneath the girl's dress." Now that was 40 some years ago, over 40 some years ago, and I had forgot all about it, but God remembered. And that was amazing to me. I mean, He just blew my mind. But that's not the end of the story. And what had happened, a few weeks before, I was standing in the kitchen, and the devil had came to me, and he said to me, he said, "You can't eat any pork." and he was bothering me, like bothering me, taunting me. You can't eat any pork. You can't eat that. You can't eat that. You can't eat that. You can't eat that. You can't eat this. You can't eat that. And I said in my mind, well, it wasn't me who said it, but the devil said it. But I repeated what the devil said. And the devil said, he said, fuck the Lord. And I said the same thing. I said, fuck the Lord. And then the Lord said to me, he said, oh, you didn't look underneath the girl's dress the same way you didn't say to the devil, fuck the Lord. And I fell out. Oh, man, I fell out. And I said, oh, man, the Lord remembered that 40 years ago to bring me back to what was said when I was standing in the kitchen when the devil was taunting me. And the Lord said to me, son, he said, I want to tell you something. And he said, I want you to tell my people, be careful of what the devil does and what he does for God's people. I want to tell you, there are 7 holes in your head. The 7 holes in your head has fluid in them. All the holes in your head have fluid. Wax come out your ears, it's a fluid. The wax that come out your ears, it has a taste. All of them have a taste of bitter, sour, sweet, and salty. All the holes in your head, they have a scent, but they flow. So the Lord told me to tell you that these things are controlled. All the waters in your head are E-B-B. The ebbs of flow. That means they flow, they go back and forward, just like a tide. When water comes to the seashore, and then it goes back, it flows up, and then it goes back. Your head, the waters in your head do the same thing. Your eyes, your tears in your eyes, they flow also the same way. Saliva in your mouth, it goes the same way. And the devil knows this, and he uses that against you to control your thinking. He uses sound to control you. So the sounds that you use, the sounds that are in your head, the water that's in your head, the devil uses those things against you. He speaks things into your mind to control your thinking, to control your thoughts, to entice you, to have you doing things, to guide your feet by using sun and light to ebb the flow that's in your head. So your ears, your mouth, everything has a control mechanism to it because all of them has water, and the devil knows these things, and he uses these things to control your mind and your thinking. So all these things have water in it. Anything that has water, the devil knows how to control them very well. He ebbs the flow. That means the draining, the water when it goes to the tide and it goes back. That means, so in your mind, your ears, it comes full and then it drains. When it's full, the devil's not going to bother you. But when it drains and it goes back, that's when the devil's going to attack you. So that's when the devil, he'll attack your ears. You can hear things or you can taste things. It's the ebb of the flow that happens in your body that you don't know anything about. But the devil do these things to you. So God wants you to know so you can be aware of your spiritual warfare and how the devil uses the flow of the water that are in your mind, your brain, your eyes, your nose, the mucus in your nose. All these things have power, but you don't know anything about it. But God wants you to know because these are the last days and you need to fight to be able to stand your ground, to be able to make it into the kingdom. So these days are getting tough and knowledge is going to increase. And not only the knowledge that's in the world, but the knowledge of God, because God's going to reveal these things to his people so that you can be able to stand in the latter day. The Lord wants you to hold your crown. Don't let no man take your crown, people of God. Okay, I just want you to know that, and God wants you to know that.